name is Kim Araya. I'm the Director of University Conference and Guest Services at American University in Washington, D.C. I've been at AU for over 10 years, and before I worked at American University, I was at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities as their Director of Conference Services. So basically, I've been in the collegiate conference events world for about 20 years now. But before I landed in collegiate events, I worked in the legal and psychiatric profession for 17 years. Did a change when I was in my early 30s. And trust me, these two professions still come in handy as a conference and events person. So as a new professional, people will ask you, what is your major? How did you get into events? And chances are most of you didn't major in events. There are some great schools of hospitality out there, but chances are you didn't major in events. So when people ask me, I say I was poli-sci for undergrad, then went on to law school, and then have behavioral counseling as my grad school degree. And trust me, they've all come in handy working in events. You have to learn to navigate the politics of your university or your clients. You have a lot of legal stuff to do with contracts, certificate of insurances, making sure everything's done right. And then you deal with all sorts of people with all sorts of behavioral issues with your people, your colleagues, your student staff. So when people always say, what's the best degree to have to be in events? I say there's no such degree. You need to have people skills and you need to have common sense. That's the degree you need to get to survive in our industry. So talking about being a new professional, like I said, I was a little bit older. I was in my early 30s when I came into collegiate conference events industry. But starting out, I felt very lucky at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities to have my job. The Director of Housing and Residence Life, because that's the umbrella I was under at that time, hired me and then let me take off, let me grow the business, let me make citywide connections, which the University of Minnesota had never done, and bring in a lot of business. The same thing with the university, American University. I've had many bosses since I've been at AU, but they've all let me have the autonomy to do what I need to do to grow the business. So one thing as a new professional, as having a boss, you have to have a boss who trusts that you're going to do the right thing. Trust is a must. And so you need to obviously earn that trust and then make sure they trust you to take their business to the next level. But the one thing I will say, all the bosses I've had, and I've had many over the years, have encouraged me was to be part of ACCED-I, do something professional development. They didn't really so much push me to ACCED-I, but they pushed me to professional development. And to me, ACCED-I is the best professional development for people in our industry. Obviously, that's why we're called the Association of Collegiate Conference Events Directors International. So they pushed me not only to be part of that, but to go above and beyond and to run for regional director. And then I've been on committees. And then here at AU, I've been on the board of directors, which is a little bit of an undertaking for your time. And then I was eventually very fortunate to be elected by the board to be the president-elect, and then on to be the president just a few years ago, which I served during COVID, which was a crazy time to serve as president, but it was great. I really enjoyed it. I met so many people during that time. So I'm going to say, please reach out and you're already a part of this, but stay a part of this. Make sure your bosses have you as a part of this. Because you'll meet people from coast to coast, and being in ACCED-I is like being in a family. I know that may sound hokey a little bit to you, but it really is like a family, because you'll hear people when you're out on the Zoom calls or whatever, if you're at a conference, and, oh, I get it. Oh, I totally understand what you're talking about. Or who's on StarRes or who's on Seattle Tech or whatever the case may be as far as technology. And you can build off of that and work off of that. And the best line I love using, it's not from me, it's from another former president from years ago at ACCED-I, says, we are your people. And that's what I think is great. And that's what got us through COVID, because we had a camaraderie of people who could understand what it's like running desk, running housing, running conferences, running commencements. We really get each other. So the good thing about if you stay with ACCED-I, as I always say, you can pick up the phone and call whomever. Who do you want to benchmark yourself against, or who do you want to be like? And that's the beauty of being an ACCED-I. You can go to the director and go, hey, I'm gonna call my buddy Rick Glass down at the University of Richmond and see what he's doing. Or, hey, I'm just going to call Nancy Martin over at Georgetown. She's 2 miles down the road. How are you handling the new DC tax laws that we have on our hospitality beds? So things of that nature, it's really important. The next important thing for a new professional is networking. And I know many of you are probably cringing right now to hear the word networking. I'm not asking you to be the life of the party, but you've either got to network. If you're not doing it out there in your, CVBs or your Chamber of Commerce, network on your campus, get to know your professors, get to know the people in the president's office or athletics or wherever your forte is. And I'm just saying you've got to make sure you're talking to the people, the universities in your area. I know not everybody is in an area like a DC or a University of Minnesota where you have maybe 10 or 15 universities within a 50-mile radius, but you've got somebody within a 50-mile radius. Get to know that person. That networking is so important. So as a new professional in the collegiate conference events, you're going to experience many late nights. You probably already have weekends, holidays, happy clients, not so happy clients. Your boss is happy when you make money. Your boss is not happy when you don't make money. You go through tough times. Like I went through the recessions in 2007 and 8, which was tough on our industry. Obviously, COVID was tough on the whole world, not just our industry. But I say hang in there. There's so many opportunities waiting for you in so many different ways. Something I want you to think about that I think a lot of people don't think about in our industry. We make a difference in people's lives. And I'm like, really? We do, especially our young people who come to our campus. They come and they're like, this is where I want to go to school, or this is what I want to be a part of. So I always say you're going to make a difference in someone's life, or you may make a difference in some person who's already been to college and has a lot of degrees, but you made their day by just being back on campus. I hear that a lot. I hear some of my people that are old like me will say, I feel rejuvenated. It's just so wonderful to be back on a college campus. So by changing their life, you can change your life too. It'll make you feel good inside. So the past 20 years, as I said, in the collegiate conference events have been great to me. And I highly encourage anyone with a passion to grow and to learn, to take part in our industry. And I do look forward to the next 10 years. I've got about 10 more years to go in our industry, and I love it. But as a new professional, I wish you the best on your journey. And I hope you find professional and personal happiness and satisfaction in our collegiate conference and events industries. I wish you the best of luck. Please reach out to me, Kim Araya, American University, Washington, D.C. Good luck. Thanks.